Right, we should be live again. Hopefully we're actually live now. Yeah, we're live. Alright. We're actually live this time. Just give it a couple minutes again, get people to be in the actual stream. 7 laps of Spa to start with, and then we all do a full feature race, which I believe is 18 laps of Spa, which is a fair distance to travel around this track. Don't know if we'll have a lot of actual riding, a lot of battling in that period of time. Wait and see. Doesn't look like it's raining, so we're going to have a very dry sprint race at the very least. So, Spin is on pole, which is not too unusual. He just usually spins it away, never given the chance. You know, Moose in second in the Beetle, O'Leary in third, Jeddah in fourth, Nath in fifth, Turkey in sixth, Draz in seventh, Nectar in eighth, Arak in ninth, Zab in 10th, JMS in 11th, Fracas in 12th, Steo in 13th, JP in 14th, and then Zelda in 15th. And then as per the second half of the season, we'll take a proper close look at the standings after each of these races. That way we can figure out who will and will not win a championship by what week. Bear in mind, to win a championship early, you have to have 44 points, I believe. I think it's 44-point advantage, maybe 45. But yeah, and constructors has got to be quite a significant amount more than that. But yeah, just get a couple. We give it a minute or two to do something here. And then we'll get going with actual racing. Don't forget, this channel is going to be a little bit hectic tomorrow night. Don't forget, I'm doing comms now. We then have obviously all the racing, the first set of racing that we'll do in normal Group 3 series under the new physics, so that's going to be certainly something later at Brands Hatch. And then tomorrow night we've got the draft, the ALR draft for Champions Cup, which is going to work a little bit differently now because Iggy pulled out earlier on. So I have to do a little bit of last minute rejigging for that. But yeah, we are just I just got to sort things out for that, and tomorrow is probably going to be quite hectic. But that's enough of that. Let's go into the actual race now. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. It's lights out, and away we go. It looked like Spin, even in the Porsche, may have had a slightly better start than Moose King down towards La Source, and here comes the leader down to La Source. It didn't look too great there, and it definitely isn't too great there by any means, and we're going to go right back to the start here. Get a good look at this. I'm pretty sure it's Spin slow. Spin is better. Whoa, what the hell? Let's have another look. I think it might be Drabs. Let's have a proper look here. So Spin is definitely slow into La Source. So Drabs just tried to avoid a bunch of people and clobbered his way through the front of the pack. Spin has now hit the lead of the race. Moose King is at the back, and that is extremely unfortunate. As Nathan Spin are going down towards down towards Eau Rouge here, and now through Eau Rouge up to Radion, up the hill now before they hit the Camel Straight. And JMS has just been forced a little bit off the track there by Spin as they head up the hill, down now through the Camel Straight into Lacombe at the end of this straight. Nectar up in the 5th. JMS is in 4th right now. Spin down into 5th because Turtie's absolutely flying through Lacombe. He's got the inside line, should have a decent run here. Is he going to get ahead of Spin? No, no, he's not. No, he is not going to get through in the Lacombe chicane there. They head down the hill once again in the second sector. The hardest part of the track, honestly, is this part. You've got to get it right, otherwise you lose the majority of your time here as they head through what was formerly known as No Name, down towards Cuyon now. Nath still leads, Spin in second, 33rd, JMS 4th. And you've got Jezza in 5th, who's just starting to peer his way through. Nectar in 6th, O'Leary in 7th, has not really had a good line after that opening corner where he kind of got collected in the battle, in the incident between Draz and the 3 leaders. You got JP in 9th, Fracas in 10th, Zelda in 11th, Steo in 12th. Alright, got 1.5 seconds time penalty, that'll drop him down to 14th, and then Draz rears the field. We're continuing to look as they head down. They went through Stavalo 2 there, and they now head toward the Blanchemont. And here we go. They still have a sizable lead at the end of lap 1 here of 7th. As they head through Le Blanchemont, now down towards the bus stop chicane. Oh, someone has gone massively off the track there. They've got that all sorts of wrong. Let's see if... Oh, JMS just gets that every sort of wrong, just misses his braking point, and drops a few positions at the result. There's another collision between Nectar and O'Leary there, and someone else in the BMW has had an absolute mare in the back of the field, in the back of the picture. And they look like Moose King will take advantage of that. We've got a four car wide here into La Source. It looks like O'Leary's still there. Zab's still on the outside as well. Fracas is trying to make his way through on the inside of La Source as they head towards Eau Rouge at the bottom of the hill. This is just absolute carnage between the drivers. Can they manage to keep it together? They will. JP ahead of JMS for now. Fracas trying to make his way through as well. JMS should have a run down the straight. Nectar definitely having a good time, and here comes Zab and Fracas in the back of the field here as well, looking to try and make something happen, not get boxed in by the 2 cars in front. Steo gets a little bit of a tap there on Fracas, trying to give him a little bit of room to make his way through, but JMS stayed 6th, JP is in 7th, Zab in 8th, Fracas 9th, Steo 10th, O'Leary dropping all the way down to 11th. We got Moose King on the back of this now, and then Fracas now on the inside of Zab. Is this going to happen for 8th place? It looks like it will. They're going to stay side by side. Fracas goes a little bit deep in No Name, and it's going to allow for Steo to have a run. Steo's got past Fracas, is now alongside Zab into Puyon on the inside. And it looks like both the Mazdas are going to go through. And that is going to be the case. Steo and Fracas getting by on Zab up into 8th and 9th. We might not be done in the overtakes here. O'Leary goes very deep, and Moose has the inside line now. Moose, well, had the inside line at the beginning of the chicane, won't have the inside line on the exit, and will have the inside line again into Stavolo, and will have the position at this point in time. 11th ahead of O'Leary. That looked like one of the Mazdas having an absolute mare in the foreground. And yeah, it looks like Moose has finally got that move done on the exit of Stavolo. O'Leary is still hanging in and about here. He's going to have the inside of LeBlanchemont. Is he going to have the move though? It looks like Moose has gone a bit deep there. That might be a half-second time penalty. If you go off the track there. Zelda to the inside. It's 1.5 seconds worth of track penalties there for Moose. So Zelda gets a nice move, but it won't last too long because he's off the track again. O'Leary will go through the middle of them. It's like the seas parting for O'Leary there as he goes through the middle. Aurak will follow him as he moves up into 11th and 12th there. Aurak to the inside and clobbers O'Leary through the corner, and that is definitely not a clean overtake. And O'Leary will drop another few positions as a result of that. Aurak just got everything wrong into La Sauce. Moose at the 1.5. He's still got a freeway battle between the two Mazdas and Zab in a Supra as they head up the hill into the Camel straight now. Steele's got a half-second time penalty. I'm guessing he encompassed that on the way through. It doesn't really get actual move done there, which is surprising as Steele gets a little bit sideways there through Lecomte. Doesn't look like an awful lot will happen between the three of them though. They head into the middle sector now. JP in 7th, JMS in 6th, Nectar in 5th. They're all starting to gain a little bit of an advantage here at the front. Turkey has a 1.5 second gap, so that won't really do much help for him. It will drag him right back towards Jeddah, who currently sits in 4th. Nath is now in 2nd, and Spin has the lead of the race. And she took back after everything happened in turn 1. But yeah, Spin going through Stavolo too, definitely having a good advantage in this in this race at this point in time. Nath is in 2nd in the BMW again, not really going to be too disappointed with that. 30 with his 1.5 second time penalty. Will Jeddah get anywhere near him now? It looks like Jeddah may have had an issue because he's dropped all the way back to Nectar, who's currently in 5th. And will 30 will be fine now then. As a result of that, 30 still has a sizable advantage down the straight here towards the bus stop chicane over Jeddah. Nectar also in in close proximity. Might have to have a drink in a moment's time. My voice is not liking this. Yeah, we're gonna have a drink. I'm just gonna have a drink real quick. There you go. Nectar actually been dropped a little bit here by Jeddah as Jeddah has caught up to 30 as they head through Eau Rouge and now Radion as well. We'll wait and see whether or not there's a couple of overtaking opportunities that might fall someone's way here. Nectar should have a quicker car, but not O'Leary. JMS is going for it. Also, 30 versus Jeddah is still landed in the hands of that Mercedes, but they're a lot closer to 5th and 6th than they were before. 5th and 6th chose not to fight, 4th and 3rd did fight, and now we're in a 4-car train, and Jeddah is having to defend from Nectar down the hill. It looks like everything's going to stay as it was for now. And JMS looking to size up for Nectar down into Puyon. Is he going to get that down into Puyon? No, he is not. We're over the halfway point of this race now. Nectar just going a little bit wide there. It's managed to get away with it because JMS went a little bit too shallow. And JP, Brackus, Zab, Steo following on. Arak in 11th, Joe O'Leary in 12th, Draz in 13th, Zell in 14th, and Moose at the rear of the pack. Spin still has a comfortable, a sizable advantage here to the rest of the pack. Spin in the lead, Nathan second, the two that realistically fight for the win of this sprint race here. 30 is a mile and a half off the rest of the group. But yeah, we're going down into La Sauce now. The first two comfortably through. We'll wait and see if we get any more battles here. Nectar and JMS again splitting off a little bit from Jeddah and Turkey. You've got a couple of guys fighting behind. JP and Brackus are a lot closer to each other than they were at the beginning of the lap. That is for certain. We're going down the Camel Straight now. Again, Turkey just clearing Jeddah a little bit before they hit Lacombe. We might have an actual overtake coming up in the back of the screen there. Brackus trying to go to the outside and just could not get alongside enough into the corner. There's a penalty in the background there as well. I think that's Dio. Yeah, well, half a second penalty as O'Leary and Arak are just shaping up a little bit behind him. Probably will overtake him with that half-second time penalty actually, and that will put Arak in pole position for the feature race. Still got a lot, well, not a long way to go realistically in terms of this race. Two and a bit laps still on the docket. And Arak is still ahead of O'Leary. Steo's still hanging on. Zab! A definition of not hanging on for a minute there, as he somehow managed to keep his car from going all the way sideways. And he'll survive for now, but it'll drag him further towards Steo and company rather than JP, which is who he was fighting beforehand. JP had been overtaken by Brackus in this lap. Steo now serving his penalty. Will he drop behind Arak and O'Leary? They will, because Arak is going to the inside there, not the outside, which is an interesting strategy. They both shoved their way past Theophan there. Which is an interesting one, because that's not the racing line. Steo to the inside here against O'Leary, and they almost come together. As Steo has too much to the inside now. Oh, and he's gone round. He's gone round, half spun the car, and he's dropped another position. And Draz is going to try and get himself into the top 10 if he can actually get it. We're going to go up the field. Brackus ahead of JP by a sizable amount. Let's have a look at this battle here then. Jeddah versus Nectar, 4th and 5th. Spin and Naif are considerably far ahead of this group. Here comes Nectar to the inside. Can he make it move? Can he make it happen? No, he cannot. Jeddah does enough to shut the door off there and answer any of the questions that Nectar may have had. And they now head down the hill once more on lap 6 here, and Jeddah is doing more than enough just to hang on to his place in every, well, by desperate measure, if nothing else at this point. Might open the door for JMS to potentially get himself somewhere at the end here. Well, as soon as I say that, he immediately goes onto the AstroTurf and starts sliding his car. That's probably not the greatest thing in the world. But we're still going on. Nectar dropped off the back of Jeddah again in the middle sector. And that's usually how this is going to go between the FD1 and the Porsche in particular. Porsche just having superior cornering compared to that FD1, which is a straight line speed car. Nectar is off the track! Too much AstroTurf and overtaken by JMS. He managed to save it from the wall, but not from the grass. And there you go, JMS is going to get himself fifth as a result of that. Fracas might be licking his lips, maybe trying to overtake a wounded Nectar. Bearing in mind that the last race we saw Nectar do, he got wiped out by Nath at Dragon Trail after having a 25-second lead and ended up ending third. In the rain. Looks like Perty's managed to clear himself a gap here as well. So Spin, having no incidents whatsoever of his own doing here in the first race, in the sprint race at Spa, and has quite frankly dominated this from start to finish. We'll see whether or not there's anything left to happen at the front of this race. I don't think there will be. I think Spin should have this one under comfortable control at this point in time. He's still got a couple of tricky corners to go through. We've just gone through No Name. Now they're heading towards Fouillon, which is one of the notoriously hardest corners on this track. Especially if you go a little bit deep, that AstroTurf is willing to collect whoever does that. And it looks like Spin has passed that final test with flying colours. He's going through, well, one of two chicanes left on the track. He's not been troubled by this one. He's now got Stavolo, LeBlanchemont, and the bus stop chicane between him and victory here in the sprint race here in Tier 4 at Spa. Spin not getting on the AstroTurf, so he got through Stavolo. And there's only three corners that split him and sprint race win here. He's been utterly dominant since hitting the front. He qualified on poles, he'll get the extra point for that as well. He goes through the Blanchemont, no questions asked. It's just the bus stop chicane. Just the bus stop chicane that sits between him and another piece of glory here in Tier 4. He goes through that as safe as humanly possible. And that means there's nothing to stop him between him and the line. And he will win the sprint race here in Tier 4 at Spa. And it's been relatively comfortable the entire way. Nave gets second, Turty will end up on the podium, Jeddah gets fourth, JMS will get fifth, Fracas has cost himself sixth in the end there with a little bit of a deep run, Nectar will get sixth, Fracas will get seventh, JP will get eighth, Zab will get ninth, Draz has somehow, just about ended up on the feature race pole. He's managed to work his way back after the first couple of corners where he was 15th, got himself 10th, but Leary's going to miss out by maybe a 10th of a second, absolute most. And then you got Moose in 12th, Steo in 13th, Zelda in 14th, and Orak, who will rear the grid in the feature race here. Well then, that was a pretty hectic sprint race there. So just go through, find this feature race real quick. Looks dark, doesn't look like it's going to rain. So we'll wait and see. Yeah, just waiting for things to load up. I'm just going to make sure I don't have anything actually. Yeah, I don't have anything that could be slowing this down, so we're just waiting on this to sort itself out. There you go. Loaded up. Was actually a decent sprint race there. A lot of people making moves at every given opportunity. Spa should be a one-stop. It's going to be a lot less interesting the strategy here than what we'll get in the actual races at Brands Hatch tonight, because Brands Hatch is going to be all over the place in every way, shape or form. It's just going to be people getting everything wrong. Just going through a couple of my messages real quick before we get started here. Alright, just sorted all that out. We'll go through what everyone is on now then. So, mediums on Draz's car, mediums on Zab, everyone, no, not everyone is on a medium tyre. So JP is on mediums in third, Fracas is on the softs, Nectar on mediums in fifth, JMS in sixth on the mediums, softs for Jeddah in seventh, mediums for Turkey in eighth, mediums for Nave in ninth, mediums for Spin in 10th. O'Leary on mediums in 11th, Moose on mediums in 12th, Steo on mediums in 13th. Zelda on mediums in 14th, and Orak also on the mediums in 15th. Alright, so we've gone through. Let's see how everything's going to go here. 18 laps of the feature race, and Draz is going to lead us in with quite the gap. Wow, that is a large gap here at the beginning of the sprint race. Draz has quite a significant lead to Zab in second, and JP in third is looking to go to the inside of Lasort, so it's probably not the greatest idea in the first lap here. You know, Fracas in fourth here. JP in third, sorry. And Fracas in fourth, not that far behind. Then you've got Nectar. Nectar just sorting everything out behind, trying to catch himself up to the back of Fracas, and having a little bit of a mess on the exit already on there, and getting it all wrong, going onto the AstroTurf. He's lucky to save his car realistically, and he's managed to keep it going and not too far back as Fracas is trying a little bit of something to move on the exit, or on the entrance to Lacombe here on JP, but doesn't get it done, so he's just trying to size him up. The longer this race goes now. Fracas knows that if Draz gets too far ahead, this is going to be game over. Very, very early. Nectar and JMS are going at each other in the background of our picture there. We're currently on Fracas, who isn't that far behind JP. JP is behind Zab, currently second in this race. Draz has a significant lead already. See if anything's happened in the far background. Jeddah in 7th, 13-8, Spin in 9th. That looks like Moose is going a bit wide in the background there. As he joins the track in 12th again, so he's back where he started. Nath is in 10th, Steel in 11th. O'Leary is not a good start, and he's not having a good run there either. He's about off the track as I think that was Zelda went on through, and Orak is still at the rear of the pack. Heads up, see if anything's happening. It looked like a little bit of a mess by O'Leary on the exit of Stabilo. As Fracas now goes to the outside. JP maybe not realising he's there. Clattered into the side of Fracas's car. But he's still ahead. They go into the bus stop chicane. The inside line is JP's, so that should be a very nice defence there from JP, and it is. As they go through the bus stop chicane, Fracas had to go a little bit deep to make sure that there was no room there for Fracas to make any surprising advances. And well, that's how you defend in the bus stop chicane. You get your elbows out just a little bit, and make sure that something, well, you make sure that you're not going to get overtaken. JP needs to be a little bit quicker now, because now Fracas has a run as he goes up over Rouge and then through Radion, now to the Camel Straight. And he's right behind that Aston Martin, and the slipstream should give him a nice little slingshot to go to the inside. He will. Will he have this on JP? The inside line into Lecombe. And it looks like, yeah, he will. JP going a little bit too deep to be able to hold that position. Fracas up into third. And JP is now under threat from Nectar behind him. Nectar trying to go to the outside maybe here as they head down the hill. I think it's Rivard, the corner they just went through. But it doesn't look like Nectar was able to make anything happen. JMS still ahead of Jeddah right now, and everyone's still having a little bit of a fight here. Draz still in the lead from Zab in second, who's not really closing up by any metric at all. He's just there. And the longer you're there against the McLaren, the longer the McLaren, well, the more likely the McLaren's going to beat you. And that is not a good sign if you're the one chasing a McLaren right now. Fracas also closing in on the front. JP in fourth, cleared a little bit of a gap to Nectar at this point in time. Then you've got JMS in sixth and Jeddah in seventh, who are also part of the train. And then we've got a little bit further back, Turkey from Spin. Spin's not off to a good start in this one. Then you've got Nath, who's also in this battle, and Steo, who's trying to tack himself onto the back of it. We got a little bit of a fight going on in the foreground. JMS, yeah, JMS is ahead of Nectar. We're going to go rewind a little bit there, because that looked like a decent move. JMS definitely was behind Nectar as they headed down through LeBlanchemont, now into the bus stop chicane. To the inside goes JMS with a far significantly better run, and gets that move done. JMS getting a little bit of a bump from Nectar in the bus stop chicane, maybe helping towards JP as well. Well, Nectar's not going to be too happy, but JMS isn't going to be complaining. Here comes Jeddah, walking to the inside there of La Source, but didn't actually make a move. You see the three in the lead in the foreground. JMS is now under fire. JMS is now putting JP under fire, sorry. Into Rouge, and he might be close enough for JP to lose another place on the Camel Straight here. We'll wait and see. The slipstream definitely working in JMS's favour. JMS now pulling to the outside, which is an interesting strategy call on down the Camel Straight, but he is in front as they head towards Lecombe, and that is definitely how that works, and that is how you make an overtake on the outside there by JMS as he goes up into fourth, and JP drops to fifth. He needs to stop the bleeding a little bit here, as he is starting to tumble just a little bit down the order. We'll wait and see if anything's going to happen behind. Nectar and Jeddah are still as they were. What about at the front? Fracas has got past Zab now. So Zab's dropped to third. Fracas has now got Draz to go after. This could be very, very interesting. The Mazda versus the McLaren, two great cars in this tier. Fracas has been doing really well this season outside of his spins. Might have another one in him today. Should be trying to get past Drad though. The earlier he can do that, the more chance he has of just driving away, and he goes off the track immediately. As soon as I start singing his praises, I think that might be a half-second penalty coming his way, and it is. Draz also defending incredibly unnecessarily there into the bus stop chicane. We'll see how this unfolds. JMS is up in a fourth and got a decent gap now to JP, who's in fifth. Jeddah got past Nectar as well. And Spin has now got himself tacked onto the back of this group. So Jezza in 6, JP the next one ahead for him. Spin's gathered a little bit of pace after he got clear of the pack that he was in. And now he's got to get through a couple of more cars just to see if he can make a charge towards the front. Nectar is the first one of those. We'll see whether or not there's going to be anything that happens here. Nope, not through Lacombe chicane. Nectar will hold on for probably another lap. Because of the straight line speed, the only real overtaking point at this point is the bus stop chicane right at the end of this lap. It looks like JP and Jezza are almost going at it there. JP holding on. I just learned you can do something new. Interesting. I didn't know R2 did that. And here comes Spin and Nectar in the background of a shortened Spin on the inside. Maybe a little bit of contact on the way through, but gets past Nectar and up in the 7th. And that was a gutsy move to make through Pouillon, and that's one that he definitely won't be complaining too much about. JP having a little bit of a moment there. The same with Nectar. Both on the opposite side of the track. JP was on the AstroTurf and Nectar just had too much to the inside as Nape has gone by there, and Theo is now the next car trying to make a move on Nectar as Theo has gone off the track. Too much AstroTurf. Managed to keep his car running though. Dard at the back of the grid. Then you got Moose, Turty, not had a good start. O'Leary still behind Aurak as these two have been going at it for the last part of a decade by the sound of things. Theo in 10th, then you got Nectar in 9th, Nathan 8th, Spin going raft after JP, and that looked like a lightning exit. Let's have a look what actually happened here. JP was ahead of Jezza, so JP was in 5th. JP, oh, he got wide. Oh, he's gone far too wide, and he's gone to the AstroTurf, and that will just be the Porsches going through on JP. The JP dropped to 7th there. The two Porsches inherent in a position. Spin got a very tight line through La Source, and Nectar in the wall. Nectar is in the wall there, out of La Source, and that is not a good place to be. He's somehow not lost the position because he had such a gap in the bank in the first place. Nectar in 8th, got JP in his sights. Now you got Spin and Jezza, and I can only imagine. No, there's bump drafting going on here. I was expecting team orders, but bump drafts here between Spin and Jezza as they look to try and get towards JMS, I guess. I might be smelling the podium possibility here after lap 5 of this race. JMS on the back of Zab now. That's the two cars in front of the Porsches we were just watching. Zab doing a nice job in this race so far. JMS getting a little bit sideways on the exit, no name there. They now head through Pouillon, and that's again just, that seems to be JMS's issue so far this season, just taking these corners far too shallow, and not a lot you're going to be able to do in terms of having that as a winning formula, because he'll be touching way too much, and Zab goes deep, and JMS again not able to capitalize because the car is half round. As they go through Stavolo, and there you go, it's finally happened. JMS has finally got himself to the inside of Zab, and it's definitely the place there for JMS as he heads now through Le Blanchimont. And he doesn't really like that. It looked like Zab's got a fight back in him. So that's a third place taken here by JMS. And he's got Fracas and Draz in the in his sights now up the road. Jedda's now into the pits on lap 6, so maybe a two-stop strategy coming for a Porsche driver here. No way he's doing that many laps on a medium tyre. looking like... Oh, my voice! Jesus Christ! Looking like JMS is still clear of Zab for the moment in time as they head down the Camel Straight. Just getting a drink so my throat isn't going to die for some reason here. Zab to the outside. Is he going to be able to make it happen? JMS has definitely got a better line on the inside there, and he made it look very easy to defend from Zab there. That is a superb bit of defending. Fracas and Draz are right on the back of each other right now, so Draz still in control, has been since the word go. Fracas is now putting him under a bit of pressure. We'll see whether or not Fracas is able to make an actual move through on this McLaren at some point. He's going to need to, because the McLaren's got better tyres, got better fuel. Or I believe that's the case anyway, than that Mazda. So he's got to get something going sooner rather than later if he wants to win this race, the Irishman. You got yeah, these two up front, the French and the Irish fighting it out. JMS is in a world of his own back there, and Spin is now up into 5th after Jaz's pit earlier on. So Spin now been unleashed on Zab. Wait and see whether or not there's a move coming from Spin in the next few minutes here. Oh, and Zab's coming into the pits, and so is Fracas. That is interesting. 6 laps in, so some people are doing 1 stop, some people are doing 2 stops. Because yeah, if you're coming off the medium tyre after 6 laps, then you are definitely 2 stopping this. Which is a very interesting scenario, given the fact that the 1 stop is significantly quicker because Spa's pit lane is a gigantic pit lane. Well, the front 3 have a good idea here. Not entirely sure. Fracas has the greatest idea in the world doing a 2-stop. We're going through. We were just watching Spin try and catch up to JMS. Let's see if anyone else is having a battle. And they are! We're going to have a little bit of a rewind on this because Aurak is ahead of Nectar at this point in time. It doesn't look good here for Aurak and Nectar at all. Aurak's got the inside line, defending pretty well. The FT1's got the speed on the outside against the Merc. Those two come nicely. Oh, it looked like Nectar just ran out of space and then straight lined into the side of Aurak. Oh, and they've come back together through the Exilacom too. And they've, wow, that was, they've left one in on each other for certain there. There's allowed for Steo, for O'Leary, and for Moose to try and get themselves back into this. Well, back into a decent chance of getting a good result out of this anyway. We'll see whether or not overtake can be made in the next couple of laps here. It won't be happening through this second sector, I'll tell you that much. When they get onto the back of the lap, we will go back to them, but JMS and Spin are significantly closer than they were before. It looks like Spin has found some pace here. The real question is, do they have enough pace to go after the leader of this race? Draz has a little bit of an advantage now. By a little bit, he has a significant advantage at the end of 7. There's no pit stop for all 3 drivers at the front here. We got Aurak ahead of Nectar. Still got Steo behind him, but Steo's not making a move right now. O'Leary is the next car. Moose and Turty just a little bit further back now. Is there any pit stops happening in the middle here? Oh, that looks like Steo on the inside there. We'll have a little look here. What has gone on in the bus stop chicane between Steo and Nectar? Oh, Nectar's just got it wrong, and nice little switchback there by Steo with an even better exit out the bus stop chicane to take 5th off of Nectar. That is about as good as it gets in terms of a move. Nice little switchback, even overshooting for Nectar hadn't secured the move there for Steo. And now Steo's going to have to defend. And down a straight line against an FT1, which good luck with that. Good luck with that. Looks like Nectar's already got a better run as they head up the hill. Through Radion, now to the Camel Straight. And quite frankly, this should realistically be made. It's not going to happen somehow. Nectar doesn't have the speed. Steo hangs on for dear life. It looks like O'Leary has got himself onto the back of this parade too. So he's there. It doesn't look like Moose, or it doesn't look like Moose is. Moose is in the background there. Spin has finally got past JMS. And so Spin hits second in this race, and if you're Draz, that's probably the last name you would have wanted to see in second place. Well, if he could see the fact that it was Draz, Spin in second place, because I'm pretty sure Draz is in the DR. Looks like Spin maybe having a little bit of an issue there on the exit of the first Davalo corner. But he doesn't lose an awful lot of time to JMS. He is heading towards the McLaren that currently leads the race. Aurak is still in 4th, Theo in 5th, O'Leary in 6th. Nectar is just falling down the grid, and he's got a Mercedes directly behind him now. And we'll see whether or not he's going to have enough in the tank here to get by. We're on lap 8, so if you're on the softs, this probably is the point where you start pitting. 30 gets a little bit too much on the outside. That might be a half-second penalty coming in his direction. Steo overtaken here by O'Leary as well. Aurak on the inside. There's a 3-way, a 4-way. That's 5, and we're going to go back and watch this pile up. O'Leary getting onto the inside there. Steo gets it nicely done there on the outside. Aurak is for some reason slow on the inside of the bus stop chicane, and there's no reason for him to be. He could have just gone for that. And Aurak dropped all the way down to 8th. Down to 7th as a result of that. The wheel died. That makes sense. That makes a lot more sense. Well, O'Leary inherits 4th then. Steo inherits 5th, and Nectar gains a position back. Nectar's not going to be doing too well on the exit of Radion there. And that, you want to be watching, you want to be avoiding that much of a snap in the car, especially going flat up the hill. Still purple though. Frackers is ahead of Jezza at the moment. JP has a 5/10 penalty at the end of the lap. 30 has not pit at this point in time, so he must have just had a bit of a mare somewhere on the last lap. He's even behind Moose now, so he definitely had a bit of a mare as Moose is starting to catch back up to this pack of cars. This pack of cars is not the lead car, but it's the closest set of cars, so we're watching this. Spin is starting to close in on Draz, but not by an awful lot, but he is clearing JMS at the same time. As we're just watching the mid part of this race now. Lap 9 is what we're on. We should start seeing pits in the next lap or two. Couple of 2 stops already, starting to fashion themselves out. Spin is still a significant way off the lead. Draz still in a very, very comfortable position here. JMS is just driving a little bit no man's land. Steele's got a penalty, half a second, which means he probably made a mistake on the exit of Leblanchmont there, and maybe got a bit too wide, gained it there. So we're still watching this pack on lap 10. These guys have yet to pit, same for the front three. Brackets is the first of those that have pit, but probably still needs to pit again. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's on softs again, so he definitely needs to pit one more time. Which means any position he's currently fighting for is for actual positioning as well. Yeah, Steele might be in trouble here when it comes to this penalty. It might drop him all the way. It might drop him to the back there. Well, to the front of Nectar and Moose. Those two are going at it now as they head down the hill. My voice is going again, which is quite funny. Yeah, O'Leary is going to have some breathing space after this lap. We'll see if there's going to be enough for O'Leary to push on. Spin is getting closer. See him now into the background of the picture there. I think he's getting closer to Draz, lap by lap. We're on lap 10, so we are now heading into the point where if you can do 8 laps on softs, you should probably start thinking about pitting. We're just looking through at this point in time. Fracas is looking at a way of getting past Moose. Bearing in mind they are on actual fight. They're actually fighting now because Fracas still has to pit, and so does Moose. As we walk through Leblanchmont, Fracas on the outside. He still has it at the moment. The top three are now into pit. JMS has so much more fuel than the rest of his competition, so that should edge him a bit closer. Nectar is now into the pits. O'Leary into the pits. Dio stays out. Possibly trying to do one more. Jeddah is staying out as well because he's on his 2-stop strategy. Zab also on a 2-stop strategy, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he is. He's on a 2-stop strategy. Currently in 4th. Probably would expect him to do a little bit better given the start he had, but he's just starting to fall off the pace here a little bit, Zab. See if he can bring it back. Draz, Spin and JMS are out the pits now. They head down towards Eau Rouge, and JMS is a lot closer than he was before. One person who isn't a lot closer than he was before, there's Spin, because there's Draz heading towards the end of the Kemmel straight now. We'll see if there's going to be any sort of advantage to Draz here. He's got significant amount of time in the bank on the McLaren, on the soft tyres. You would think that side of a gap should be Draz's to lose now. Wouldn't expect Draz to be anything other than confident that he can win from this point onwards. JMS is having an absolute flyer at this point as well. He's in the top 3. Same with Spin. Spin currently is in 2nd place. It would be an absolutely massive day for him. A 1st and a 2nd as it stands. He desperately needs a good race or two to make sure he gets that spinning bug out of the way early, and you don't want to be doing too much of that. That is a very deep run into the first of the Stavolo corners. And Fracas has just hit Fracas and Jeddah have gone past Dio, who's just gone into pit now on this 1-stop strategy. Draz still in the lead. We'll get out well ahead of Stio. We'll see where Stio comes out in all of this. Again, a lot of different strategies in this race, but it shouldn't have been. This should have just been the easiest one-stop of everyone's life, but apparently not. Well, the front three have still got to pit again, and they don't have anywhere near enough of a gap on Drads to realistically make this work. See, Steel, they're fueling up now. Next has gone by. No, JMS have got past Spin. I'm having a little look back here and figure out how that happened. Spin is still ahead of JMS here. They headed to the bus stop chicane. As they head into the bus stop chicane, oh, it's just a bit deep. It's just a bit deep from Spin, and yeah, that will do it. That will definitely do it. JP or Ragnanes, we haven't said in a while. They've kind of disappeared off the face of the earth in this race. Next to him, Moose, and not that far away from each other either. They're both on soft tyres. Moose should, in theory, have more pace here. Qualified second in qualifying, so he should start making his way back through. O'Leary is a decent chunk of the track ahead of the two that we were just watching. Everyone is just starting to space out a little bit. Here comes Spin to the outside of JMS. Down the straight. Is he going to be able to get it done before the corner even happens? JMS isn't even going to bother defending it. That is just a nice and easy pass for Spin. About as easy as you're ever going to get. I think JMS should have defended that a lot more. Unless he's thinking that he could use Spin to get to Draz. Could be the alternate thinking that. That requires him staying on the back of Spin for as long as humanly possible. You see Draz in the foreground of our picture. So up three to pit at the front. Either that or they're all on the longest one stop in history. Looks like JMS is still hanging on to the back of Spin, but realistically not doing enough. In this one too, well, JMS is not doing enough to really threaten Spin again after Spin got by earlier on in this race. Well, earlier on in this lap even. Drad is starting to catch back up to Zab as the second set of pit stops are now coming in for the guys at the front, and that I can safely say is nowhere near enough time in any capacity for them to stay in the lead of this race. Drads is comfortably out in front now. And then Spin is in second, JMS is in third. The only way that some saviour here is rain. Kind of brings everything back, be a little bit of a neutralizer. But for now, Fracas, Jether and Zab, they've got a long, long way to go. It looks like Fracas has got out. Has he got out? Where has he got out? It looks like Moose King and company are out as well. They're going through La Sauce. They're side by side. Fracas is coming out with next to him Moose, which is not good news for Fracas because he has now got to overtake them because he's down behind both of them. And now that might hold him up for a little bit because you'll see these two, they're going to fight it out. You got O'Leary in the distance still. One stop versus a two stop. It don't think it's worked. Do not think the two stop has worked here by any sort of metric. Fracas has just cost himself a top two finish realistically in this one. Thinks he's George Russell, but not really. There is not really a ton of time where the alternate strategy is going to be the favourable one up until I guess this update. You might get away with one tonight at Brands Hatch, but it's about as much as you'll get away with. I don't think it'll have worked, but prior to the update, two stop is definitely not the way to go. Wait and see, JMS is well off the tail of Spin now, and Spin is not catching drives. He just isn't catching drives. It's not really happening for him. Joe Leary had a bit of a mare there. We'll see whether or not there's a few overtaking opportunities coming up. There might be one here for Nectar. As he goes to the outside, headed towards the bus stop chicane. He might be braking a little bit later, but he is going to go around the outside, and look at that. That is a beautiful overtake if he can stick the landing, and he absolutely has stuck the landing for a moment until he decided to defend from Moose King for some reason. And then he's allowed O'Leary to go back. Now we're going 3 wide. We're going 3 wide. O'Leary's on the inside and decided to back out of it. And that'll drop him behind Nectar and Moose King as well. Moose King's gone by. And that's actually allowing Fracas to get himself involved. We're once again 3 or 4 cars involved down towards Rouge. And now for Radion, that might be a penalty there for Fracas. It's definitely not good news for O'Leary, who's gone so far wide that he's on the opposite end of the AstroTurf, and yet Fracas did get a penalty for the inside there. It looked like a penalty for O'Leary as well. We'll see whether or not these two are going to drop out of sync with the rest of them here. They've got a 5-car train. These two have penalties. Nectar and Moose are in front of them fighting it out. Behind you've got, I think, yeah, Jeddah on the back of these guys. So everyone has done their pit stops now, so we know that this is the actual positions. But we'll wait and see how this one shapes out. Second penalty, no slouch round here for certain. Right to the inside, tries Fracas. Is he going to try this at Stavolo? This would be interesting given the fact that he's got a penalty. He's not going to try this at Stavolo, and we'll see the Fracas and O'Leary drop behind. I think they might be dropping all the way behind Steo. We've gone there. We're kind of blocking the entire road here, lads. Steo is now going to the inside, clobbered Fracas a little bit, who then hits into O'Leary as these two are trying to get back up to speed. They lost out to both of the cars there, and the two-stop has not been working out very nicely at all here for Fracas. Like Steo had the half-second time penalty now as well, so he might be about to give his position back to his teammate at the end of the lap. Moose is very much ahead of Nectar and clear. He's up in a 4th, he's doing his job. He had a bad sprint race after being hit immediately in the source. He's worked his way from right at the back all the way up to 4th in this one, so it's a very good recovery race by any stretch of the imagination. Let's see if Spin is close enough to Draz to really make this interesting through the last 3 laps. He is not. He's a lot closer, but he is not close enough. And quite frankly, Draz should still have the cruise control of this one. Let's see, so Spin is still closing in on Draz, but he's not closing in enough realistically to make damage into this. You know, Nectar and Jeddah, bear in mind this is the old physics, so tyres don't really matter as much as they do now. Nectar should still be able to hold this off. Hold this fight off here from the Porsche driver. Oh, Nectar's had a bit of an issue! Nectar has had a bit of an issue there. We're going to have another look at this as they head down into the chicane here, and Nectar might have just got too much too quickly, and again it's this particular corner and it's too much to the inside again, and he's going to half spin his car. He's going to lose 1, he's going to lose 2. He's definitely losing 2 positions. Steo's not going to be able to get by because he's got a half-second penalty as well. So he's lost 2 positions there, Nectar. And this season has turned into, for him, into a season of what could have been. Steo has his penalty now, so Nectar's going to get a little bit of breathing room. Will O'Leary go by? O'Leary going to the outside. Oh, they've come together and they've cleared each other out. Oh no, that is not how you do that after a penalty. Oh, Steo just coming all the way outside. He just does not realize O'Leary is there by any means. Just catches him square on the front of his car and just, yeah, that is going to be all of that. Steo is unfortunate at the end of that, but it probably is his fault. Should be aware that O'Leary is where he was. Not entirely sure what O'Leary could have done differently there. Entitled to the racing line, he was definitely quicker on the track as well. He is, that's a dodgy one. I assume that went to the stewards. Massive hit though. How close is Spin? Spin is very close now. Spin is very close. Is he going to be able to do it? We might have the possibility of a last lap overtake. We'll see whether or not Spin is going to be able to get close enough. He's definitely close. He's about 1.5 seconds if I was to take a guess at this point in time. And he is closing down rather rapidly. The tyres do favour the McLaren. JMS is just no man's land, so he's ended 3rd, and I think Moose is ended 4th as well. Fracas is going to go after Jeddah to try and get 5th. After the 2 stops has definitely done the opposite of whatever working is in this race. He's managed to get himself up in 8th, decent ride from him. Steo in 9th, Steo in 10th, sorry, Nathan 11th, Dab in 12th, JP in 13th, Zelda in 14th, and Orak tailed the field again. That McLaren still has the lead of this race. It is not a substantial lead anymore. He might be under fire in the next couple of laps. Will we see an overtake? Will this happen? Will we get some late drama in this race here, Tier 4? We've not had a lot of it outside of that one mid-pack that's basically been keeping us occupied the entire race because no one else has. Draz has had it all his own way through the first 17 laps. Through the first 18 laps even, first 16 laps, sorry. Oh, in the wrong way, apparently I can add one, not subtract it. But he isn't going to have it all his own way towards the end of this one. So Draz holds on through the Kemmel straight into Lecombe in lap 17. That Porsche's definitely going to have a good run in the next couple of corners for certain. The McLaren isn't going to gain too much time in the middle sector. It's going to be very close to the end. Spin's going to have 1, maybe 2 more goes at this. If he can get 2 more, then I'll be very interested to see how this shakes out. Spin just not as close as he was at the end of the Kemmel straight to that McLaren. He has lost some time. He's going to have to find something left in the tank just to get himself within shooting range. He is close. Is he close enough? He's going to get a dose of the slipstream here as we head into... Well, it heads out of Stavelot and into Le Blanchimont. His tyre wear isn't going to go off. There's not enough time for the Porsche's tyre wear to go fully red, and that's what usually causes the tyre wear and the drop off now in the old physics, and Draz is still hanging on as we go through the bus stop chicane, but Spin is significantly closer now. Significantly closer, and he's got another set of the slipstream as they head towards La Source. Can he get a good run out of La Source? Because if he can, he might have a shot at the Camel Straight on lap 18 here. And he does get a far better exit out of La Source than Draz does. And Draz might be under fire right at the end of this race. He is so close as they head into Eau Rouge. One lap shootout between these two drivers. Spin might have got a little bit wide down. He's definitely got a little bit wide down. He's cost himself a little bit of speed as they head onto the Camel Straight. That might be enough of a breathing room, enough of a gap for Draz to hang on for dear life here to the lead of this race, and it is. It absolutely is. There's one more chance that left in the tank here for Spin to get this right, and that'll be at Le Blanchemont at the end of the lap. Unless Draz makes a mistake, opens the door, but Spin is starting to lose. His tyre wear is starting to kick in now. And that one split second error, a bit too wide out of Eau Rouge and then through Raidillon, is going to cost him. He had the run, he had the chance at the lead, he would have had the speed for certain had he not hit the AstroTurf on the outside. And after all of this, he's just coming up short. Draz had it all his own way for 16 laps, was put under an immense amount of pressure on 17 and 18, and manages not to bottle it like he did in the Nürburgring earlier on in the season. He's got 2-3 corners now as he comes out of Stavelot really to hold on. But there shouldn't be a last-ditch attempt here from Spin. He is too far back. So Draz had it his own way for 16, didn't have it his own way for the last 2 laps of the race, but under immense pressure is going to hang on to a feature race victory here in Spa, provided he doesn't ball the last couple of corners, and he hasn't done. Once again, safely through the final chicane, and Draz is going to win through 18 laps of Spa on round 5 here in Tier 4, and that is a pretty dominant race there from Draz. The Spin gave it his all, admittedly starting from the back, starting from 10th, but got himself right up to the front, right at the end, gave it everything he possibly could have. Just not enough in the end. JMS got 3rd, Jeddah is going to beat out Fracas for 4th, Fracas going 5th, Moose is going to end in... No, he's not! No, he's not! Moose has just been cleared out. He got the chicane in every sort of wrong. And then clobbered by... Oh, he would have lost it anyway, but clobbered by Nectar on the way through. Turty is also going to get on through. So Nectar gets 6th, Turty gets 7th. O'Leary gets 8th. Steele's going to get 9th. Nave's going to get 10th, even with the penalty. Moose is going to end 11th. That is incredibly unfortunate when he should have ended 6th. Zab's going to get 11th. 12th, sorry. JP's going to get 13th. Zelda's going to get 14th, and Orag is going to be the one that heads the end of the grid here. Wow. Wow, indeed. That is just absolutely chaotic. The midfield was absolutely all over the place. We had 4 wide at one point. And then the race at the end couldn't have come any closer. Realistically, Spin had just left it 1 lap too late to get close enough. And after all that, Draz ends up being your feature race winner. What a race. All right. And I think after round 5, that's everything we've got for you. I was absolutely chaotic. I'll do Bathurst hopefully before Monday. If not, well, you'll see me on Monday doing Bathurst. But for now, I think it's time to get used to some new physics. I'll see you guys in a bit.